Hey, what's up? My name is Michael Gray, and I just have something that I want to share with you, propose to you, and see if your school wants to do it. And the real title is Team Stronger Together, that all Long Beach high schools together and united on mental health like can really do a huge amount of good. My name, like I said, is Michael Gray. I'm the Care Center counselor at Poly. I teach 6 periods of CTE health science. Also, I'm a SEL work group team member for the California Department of Education. And I also, in February, I'm doing a SEL project with the Greater Good Science Center at UC Berkeley. That's my email, that's my cell phone. And the topic is peer counselors and peer mediators. I'm offering to teach any amount of your students the basics, foundations of being a peer counselor. I'm not asking for any money. I'm certain that your students can learn the foundational skills needed to help your student body. It'll only take the month of February with some review during March. Let's take a look at some stuff. Before March 2020, we knew our students' mental health overall was in shambles. So pre-pandemic, definitely. And when we come back, whether it's March or April or whenever, it's going to be exponentially heightened. The mental health needs, the need for mental health assistance. And how can having peer counselors help? Peer counselors can help. They're both as an intervention, right? But also as being a model for the power that students gain and they experience when they learn these basic foundational mental wellness skills. And having peers model and discuss and talk about mental wellness, it helps break the stigma. Additionally, this experience that you have with this class might cause you to want to offer it to more students at your school. Now, what we really know that's needed for real, we know that peer counselors in and of themselves are not the answer, but they are part of the solution. And they're, like I said, they're not the complete answer. Only school-wide, district-wide, pre-K through grade 12, daily mental wellness skill building. Not a lesson here, not a lesson there, but daily will start moving us towards where we're trying to go. To help illustrate what I'm talking about is Dr. Brene Brown. This is a 1-minute clip from a 30-minute talk that she did to educators. It's called The Daring Classrooms. Let's play this.
The greatest casualty of trauma is vulnerability. And let's be very clear about what constitutes trauma. Racism is trauma. Poverty is trauma. Classism, trauma. Homophobia, heterosexism, trauma. People ask me all the time, like, what's your goal in your life? I was like, to make the world a braver place. If you had one opportunity, what would be the most effective impact you could ever do? I said, if I could get in front of every teacher in the world and we could have real conversations about shame, about vulnerability, about courage, because I think the revolution will not be televised, it will be in your classrooms. That is where this will happen. 100%.
So as she's talking about, to really get through to our young people, we need to not just build relationships, but build relationships that are built upon mental wellness skills and basic ones, all right? Why do we need them? These are the facts, and these are pre-pandemic stats, all right? Amongst our Asian Pacific Islander 12 to 17-year-olds, been a 30% increase from 2016 to 19. Same group, 18 to 25-year-olds, a 50% increase in suicidal thoughts, plans, attempts from 09 to 19. Amongst our Latinx 12 to 17-year-olds, there's been a 31% increase in depression. That's from 2016 to 2019. What are you noticing? That this is pre-pandemic. We know that the statistics are even higher now. And amongst our Latinx students, young adults, a 60% increase in suicidal thoughts, plans, attempts. All right. The suicide death rate for our native indigenous people in America between the ages of 15 and 19, more than double of whites. Between 91 and 2017, suicide attempts amongst Black African American adolescents increased by 73%, and Black girls increased 108% during this time. There was a 23% increase in depression amongst Black African American 12 to 17-year-olds from 2016 through 19. A 45% increase in suicidal thoughts, plans, attempts amongst Black and African American young adults. And from 2001 to 2015, the suicide risk for Black boys between the ages of 5 to 11 were 2 to 3 times higher than white boys through adolescence. The rates of attempted suicide for Black males are 1.2 times higher than white males. Amongst all the groups I just mentioned, 63 to 75% of these groups do not receive any mental health treatment. We as educators, we as the school system, we have to become the mental health treatment. And it's not really what you think. It's not, if we just build the foundations, that will help a huge amount. Here's some more statistics. Half of all mental health conditions begin by age 14. All right. The average, this always trips me out. The average delay of any treatment once there is an onset of symptoms is 11 years. A survey of 10,000 adolescents showed that almost half had a mental disorder of some type. I did a school survey 2 years ago of 391 students. Half of them were student athletes, and it showed that 71% had mild, moderate, severe symptoms of trauma. Our school to prison pipeline that we hear about, here's a large part of it. 70% of youth in our state, local, juvenile, and justice systems have a mental health condition. We know these statistics now. Suicide is second leading cause of death. Depression is the leading cause of disability in the world. It costs the United States, it costs people over $200 billion in lost income just here in the United States. 90% of those who commit suicide had an underlying mental health condition. And the iPhone came about in 2007. I'm not blaming the iPhone, but the internet, information, social media started becoming available around that time, and suicides have tripled amongst 10 to 14-year-old females and increased 76% amongst 15 to 18-year-old females. These are where the statistics came from. And in addition to these statistics, all middle and high schools are not scoring well in our district on their core reports in terms of students feeling connected to their school. Okay. Also, our annual D&F situation is another symptom of not having even the foundation of mental wellness skills. Referring back to Dr. Brown's video about vulnerability, there's nothing more vulnerable than trying to learn something new, than to really put my effort into something that I might fail at, but yet still learn from if I'm good with how I deal with learning. And when I'm not in a good mental frame of mind, my learning suffers. All right. So it's time, in my estimation, that we stop blaming the students and we start looking at how our daily school day is constructed and what's our focus and what's our energy. And peer counselors can be a huge help. All right. These are the skills that can be taught in a very short amount of time. I'm going to start over on the breath work part and then go clockwise. There's breath work, which is managing your emotions, accurate thinking, stop speaking negatively and being negative, conflict resolution, basic restorative practice. Down at the bottom left, morning and evening routines, how to create new habits. Going up, the power of living in gratitude. How does hydration, exercise, nutrition, sleep affect mental health? And then up at the top left, active listening and empathy. These are all mental health skills. And when our students and our teachers get really good at these skills, then mental health issues are lessened, and my resiliency and my willingness to try harder and my willingness to listen better, they are strengthened. So how does this work? What I'm throwing out there. I'll take as many students as you want. However you designate who should be doing it, who might want to do it. The delivery I wrote, this is actually a follow-up to a letter I wrote to high schools back in 2018. I had just written my class 2853 at the time, peer assistant training. I had written it into independent study, like a syllabus style class, and EPHS uses it as an elective. All right, so the delivery of the class I'm talking about right now is a combination of independent study through following a syllabus and Zoom time with me once a week. I'm not, I think that would be plenty, but it could be twice a week. The Zoom time would allow for questions, follow-up, role play, and guidance. And once again, a lot of it would be in February, and then follow-up and review would be in March. I would make myself available for any time that you all felt was acceptable. The curriculum is video-based as well as ebook and PDF-based. You can check out many of the videos that we use in the class on the Care Center YouTube channel, Together Tuesday. I'm certain that you have folks at your site that would excel at organizing and monitoring your peer counselors and mediators like I do at Poly. It's just really like, what are we willing to try? How is this going to hurt? Like, it's not going to hurt. It's only going to create a better environment, a better culture at our schools. And we all need that. So the one thing that we really have found with our peer counselors is that the fact that you get to share your information, that you're basically teaching in a way other students what you have learned, is like really the highest form of learning, right? So watch, do, and teach. And that's how we build momentum for mental health, get rid of a lot of the stigma of what real mental health is, right? And that's how we build it. And then at the bottom, this is my elevator pitch, elevate mental wellness skills equal to academics. That's the focus that we need. It's the focus that we've always needed, but now it's just come to the forefront. And I don't know. I hope that y'all are cool with this idea. And once again, I'm just putting it out there, and I can help in any which way that you all want to do it. All right. I appreciate it. Talk to you soon.